Disturbing details not suitable for everyone. Listener discretion is advised.
132 in Bush, I've got him at gunpoint. They're pulling them out.
10-1-1. Advise ready for camp.
Welcome to another episode of War Stories. I'm Tom, and joining me under the weather,
it's Chuck.
You sound like
fucked up my thing.
You sound like shit.
Yeah. I feel like shit.
You look like shit.
I do. I've been sweating nonstop for 3 days.
You can't tell.
I've lost like 2 pounds. It's
that's
fucking
good.
straight sweat. No,
There's a
I want to lose weight, but not this way.
Yeah. Go get a tapeworm.
It works. I'm soaking my bed sheets. It's like I'm pissing the bed every night.
Yeah,
from my head to my toes. Like it's disgusting.
From the fever.
Yeah. Well, the fever and the cold chills and then the cold sweats. I'm like, don't even have a fever, and I'm just sweating profusely, and it's cold as shit. So then you wrap yourself up even more, and then next thing you know, you're rocking 102 fever, and everything's good to go.
What's the weather down there right now?
Yeah. I don't know. It's supposed to hit like 90 something. Where I was, it was 80, 85, and then up where I'm at now, 95. But they said there's going to be a heat wave from Monday to Friday.
I think we're having the last gasps of our heat wave. It's like today was 88, and then it gets down to like 50, 58 at night or something like that. Welcome, all the people that are watching live. What's up, Jimmy? Congratulations on making it live. This week's guest, Chuck, coming back, but not in person because normally we're in our little home bar with Chris. Shout out to Chris and John, who's working. We've got Jay. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys?
And I want to tell you, for all the guests we've had, you're the one who's got a microphone, and it sounds really good.
Dude, this is my wife's laptop. I couldn't tell you how to turn it up or down, but I'm glad that it's working out.
Yeah. Like it sounds pretty good.
It's like an Apple laptop. I was trying to log in earlier, and I'm like, I had to wake her up from her nap and be like, dude, tell me what button to press. I don't know.
Yeah, technology is a bitch.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who don't remember Jay, he's been on the podcast before. Used to work for Sheriff's Department down in Southern California, biggest Sheriff's Department in the world, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, and is now up in my neck of the woods. But for a department that shall remain nameless up here in the Pacific Northwest, Inland Northwest area.
Mm-hmm.
And, Jay and I know each other in real life. Sometimes we have guests that we meet just through the podcast, but like Jay and I actually see each other. In fact, it's kind of funny that the listeners know I've done shows. The most recent show I did, the co-star I had was a doctor who just happens to also be treating a member of Jay's family.
Yeah, right. By the way, sorry I missed that show. We've been so fucking busy, dude.
Oh, dude. All right.
That last one that you were in, I was very impressed, dude. Very impressed.
Well, this one was it was more about the kids. I did it as a favor, but it finally ended up doing really well, and we had a good time. So, but I'm glad Chuck is here and alive to join us. We were going back and forth on when we could do this, and he's like, "Dude, I'm not going anywhere. Just pick a time, and I'll like pour myself into the studio and make it through it." So, if he doesn't sound his normal, usual jovial self, it's because he's fighting off the Grim Reaper. Yeah. So how many days so far?
So it hit me at like 3:00 in the morning on Friday.
What? Like it woke you up?
Yeah, like fucked up all my plans. Like it came out, like that's what I'm saying. I didn't know I had the Rona. I thought it was a food poisoning. I legit, because we had McDonald's and they fucked up everything, and the motherfucker helped me. I don't eat McDonald's. Where we were, it was the only food, and I was like, don't give a fuck. Let's get some food. And may have had some alcohol to do with it. And got some food and went back to the hotel room, and I ate it, and I was like, it tasted off. And I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste right. And they didn't even give us fries, so I was like, all right, fuck it. Kind of just threw it out and
None. It like
kind of
just
pissed off. None.
fries?
No fries.
Huh.
They said, here, you get your main entree, but you don't get the fries that come with it. You go fuck yourself. I
Yeah.
was like, cool, man. I'm glad I'm paying $25 an hour for this shit, huh? You pieces of shit. Anyways, so I came up out of nowhere at like 3 a.m, fucking body ache out of fucking all hell, and sweating. I was sweating like crazy, and I knew I had a fever. I fucking
Sweating like
woke up. I was like, oh shit. My eyes were burning. And then I was soaking wet, and I was like, this isn't right. And then the body ache hit me, and I couldn't move, and I was like, uh-oh. And then it took everything out of me to get up out of bed, to go to the bathroom, to use the restroom, and then to pop a tramadol. And this all happened. That I ended up getting up at like 7 or 8 to do that, or 6 to do that. And I threw a fucking a tramadol down my fucking throat, and I was like, okay, I feel better. And because I was like, when I was getting up, the body ache, I could feel the pins in my knee and where the bone was cut, and I felt the 2 pieces. And I was like, dude, what the fuck is my body? I could feel my bones.
Was
You're not supposed to be able to feel your fucking
another
bones.
knee surgery?
No, I have to 2 more for no fucking reason, but not because of this.
Well,
no, I just,
for those of
it's
you
bad,
wondering, we'll update, but Chuck is in the home stretch, I think, of finally putting this all behind him. So we're all rooting for you, dude. But
got that Paxlovid.
What's that?
I got that Paxlovid. When you get COVID, get Paxlovid. It's fucking disgusting. It tastes like shit.
Know.
What is
thank
it?
It's so bitter.
Is it
By
like
Pfizer, so I'm in good hands.
Oh, you're solid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally fine. I'm sure it's great.
Crazy thing is you can't take one of their medications with it. You can't take Viagra with it.
Really?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
also one of their medications. They're like,
Yeah, it's one of their medications. I'm like,
yeah, no, you
fuck?
can't take both these together. So Jay, you came on and we wanted to talk about some of the shit you did down in LA, Southern California area, you know, because that's always fun and we get to compare notes, but also because like there's coming a point where some of us are looking back. Chuck is looking at his agency. You're looking back at your agency that you used to work for. You know, one of the guys that I got hired with, he's a lieutenant right now, just literally retired probably 3 months ago and is looking at, you know, relocating and stuff. And he was telling me about some of the policy changes at my old agency, and like it's just some of these it's just almost unrecognizable to me.
Well, I'll say that. I mean, even up here, the policy changes are it's going nationwide. Like we have policies up here that would just blow my mind. I mean, I don't know about where you work at, Chuck, but down in LA, you could draw your weapon and no problems, no issues. Up here, you draw your weapon and point it at somebody, it's a use of force. Or when I was working down there, you were taught in the academy, point your gun at everybody.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know, I my agency, which I have to remain nameless for a few more months, but a friend of mine's agency in Ventura County Sheriff's, they have the same fucking policy, dude.
Yeah. It's
you point a gun at someone, use of force. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
But so that's to me, I mean, I guess there's an argument to be made and that could be had. But to me, like pointing your gun at somebody was always the threat of force, not the actual use of force, right?
Well, so by use of force, I'm overcoming someone's resistance with more resistance, right?
Yeah, with force.
Use of force. That's
right.
That's use of force.
As opposed to saying,
but I'm pointing a gun at you
because I've got a gun pointed at you. It's not a use of, like, it's the threat of force, right? That's like saying that some guy who's big and tough and mean, some 6'5" ape, which I've worked with some 6'5" apes, and they are wonderful to have on your side when you need them. You know, calling the brute squad out is amazing. But that's like saying that their mere presence is a use of force because they look scary, right? That's fucking stupid. It's just stupid.
It's ridiculous. And my new department, and this doesn't have to do with policies, but we just got Axon cameras, which we've had the cameras for a while, but they just set it up to our holsters. So when I draw my weapon, it activates the camera.
Yeah.
So you have like a little fucking thingy on your holster when you pull it out.
Yeah,
It's
so it's like it goes between.
what happens if you already?
So it
What
goes
happens if
between
you already
the holster
activated
and- If I already activated what? The camera?
your camera?
Well, then it's. I mean,
Nothing.
it's already activated. But if I
Okay.
so say the camera's on standby and I draw my weapon, it automatically activates it. And there's also a feature that they haven't set up yet that it'll activate anybody else's within like a 50-foot radius.
Oh
Right?
shit, that's the big one.
Yeah,
That's
we haven't
big one
set
right
that
there.
up yet, and I don't think they're gonna set that up yet. I'm praying they don't. But yeah, it's a trip, man, and it's garbage.
So when I hear these things, like when we got cameras, and because we didn't have cameras for a really long time, and then we got cameras, and then it still wasn't everywhere. Pilot programmed all over the area, and then we finally got it in the valley. But they have these policies that kind of sound good on paper. You're like, oh, that's going to protect me, right? But they're always used for evil. They're always used to fuck you like hard.
Yeah,
Like every time. Oh, you weren't wearing your seatbelt. Oh, you're dipping. Oh, you're
So-
fucking doing X, Y, and Z, and they just hammer you. You're like, but what about all these other good incidents?
I look, and we want to get to the cool stories, but
Yeah.
I think it's important to unpack this stuff. Like it all comes down to, I have this thing that we joke around about in my house, and I joke around about with people that have, a higher intellect that can understand the concept that, like a dictatorship, right? Like a monarchy, a king, is a really good, efficient system of government, so long as the dictator or the king is cool, right?
right.
And so, in some ways, a chief of police is a little bit of a dictator, right? He is. It's it's a paramilitary organization. It's his way or the highway. What he says goes, and all his little dictators below him, right? So at our agency, we had policy, and we had a because we didn't have. I'll be perfectly frank. We never got body cameras. They have them now, but that happened after I retired, so I never had to wear one, and I was quite honestly not looking forward to wearing one. Like we didn't even want the in-car cameras until we realized that like it actually helped you, right? But the agency just to the north of us, we would hear horror stories about supervisors going in to the room where the computer was that downloaded all the camera video and just sitting there watching people's camera videos for no reason, no complaints, no issues, no reports, no reason to watch the video other than we want to look to make sure you didn't do something while we weren't looking.
Yeah,
Bro,
There's
they
just-
can.
That's fucked.
I don't know about your guys' well, I don't Jay or Tom, you're retired, but Jay, I don't know about your agency now. They have the ability now to view our cameras in car in the watch commander's office while we're rolling code, while we're out doing whatever. They can turn on everyone's camera and view it live.
Feed and shit.
So you have a basic live PD situation, cops at your fucking fingertips, and I think this is giving way too much power. You've heard of the overreaching government. When someone gets too much power and they get drunk on power, they think they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Right.
Well, it's the same thing. You're gonna give cops a bunch of fucking power, right? They already have a shit ton of power, and now they're in charge of other cops, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And the micromanaging and dictating, not only is it coming from the chief of police, but now it's coming from your supervisors, your captains, your lieutenant, your sergeants. They're all micromanaging you, and now you feel like, I don't know if you felt it ever when you were working, but I never felt like an adult as a cop.
No, there's always somebody telling you what to do, or
I feel like a child.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you here? Why are you there? Especially now.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember. I think we had it. We did have it in LA, where you had that dot on the map where they can follow you.
We have that now too.
Yeah. So we had
We
that
do
dot
now.
on the map, and they message you, hey, why are you here? Because I fucking am. What is it? What does it matter? I'm not dicking around. I'm doing my stuff. But it's funny because up here, none of the dots work for shit. So I'm like a ghost on the map. And so they don't really know what I'm doing unless I'm calling on a traffic stop or heading to a call or something. So it's kind of nice. But yeah, I guess all the Axon cameras, they have access to do that, where if the supervisor wants to, they can turn it on and turn it off at their own leisure. I think it's a policy thing, and I'm now part of our I forget, they call it a guild up here.
Right.
So it's like a I don't know the word I'm thinking of, but anyways, it's to save
Almost
the
like a
contract.
union, like
Yeah,
oversight.
like a union. So it's something that we'd have to dictate, and I don't think it would go that route. And luckily, like you said, our dictator is pretty cool up here
Right.
for our department. But yeah, down in LA, they would have to audit, each watch commander would have to audit 3 videos a shift. So no matter what, and we all knew about it. So
I would pick the fucking lamest people.
the good watch commanders, they would do that. The ones that were out to fuck people, they would not.
No, they yeah, exactly. And see, here's the thing. I wasn't corrupt. I played it by the book. I played it by the rules. I didn't, I have the honor and integrity of the uniform and the badge, right? But for you to treat me like that, for you to say, here's a gun, here's a badge, take this oath and swear it, and then say, but also, we don't trust you. We don't believe you. But
right, I'm gonna treat you like a fucking
I back up and I go, we've talked in the show about how they've lowered hiring standards. They've lowered like the requirements for the job. They've changed how things are.
Sure.
And maybe this is a fucking, prison of their own making where, yeah, you hired a bunch of fucking pieces of shit and you didn't put them through a stress academy. You have to go audit their fucking videos. You can't trust them to do their fucking job. Chuck and I have done plenty of live debriefs that are of videos where we're like, what the fuck are they doing? I mean, okay, let's start there. There's a good place to start, Jay. Because Chuck and I both, we can all come up with instances where you look at your partner, you show up on a call, you see them, and you go, whoa, what the fuck are you doing? Right? And you have to pull. Sometimes you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna let them fall on their sword. I'm 10-8. I'm out. He's code 4.
Dude, I've had to grab fucking cops by the back of their collar and be like, stop.
Right.
Yeah. Fucking stop. Stop.
Right. I mean, I can tell you, I told you we had this one guy. I was working the road early in my career. This guy was what we call the 20-year rookie, right? And you guys know these guys. They will make rookie mistakes 20 fucking years into their career.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so this fucking turd. So I am rolling down an industrial area town on the west side or whatever, or east side. And I hear an audible alarm. And how often do you hear an audible? Most of the time it's a silent or it's, alarm company dispatching. I hear the actual alarm from the building going off. And I'm like, oh, shit. All right. So, I got a job to do. I pull over and I go to walk around, get my flashlight. I'm solo. And as I'm walking around, I hear and I crunch on glass and I look to the side. There's those old like frosted glass bubbly windows that have the chain mesh in them, and they kind of tilt in and out, right, of these old brick buildings from like the 40s and 50s and shit. And it's broken out and tilted in. And I'm like, oh, fuck. All right, we got a live one. And I put out, the broken glass, unsure, give me a second, unit, whatever. Well, this fucking lop, this 20-year rookie's the one that shows up. And by the time he shows up, I've already found the 17-year-old kid that broke into the office and tried to steal a lockbox worth of petty cash, right? And he's hooked up and he's, whatever. And this fucking idiot shows up and starts tuning up. Before I even get an interview, before I get a Miranda, he just starts tuning up a 17-year-old kid like he's tuning up a parolee. And now I'm not going to get shit from this kid, number one. And number two, like he's going to fucking juvenile hall. Relax, but he thinks he's, going to teach me a thing or two about talking to suspects. And by the time a third officer got there, I said, hey, can you sit with this kid for a minute? And I said, come here, Paul. And Paul comes over and I go, shut the fuck up. Now, I have like 2 years on the job and he's got 18 years on the job, but I don't care. It's my call. I was raised. It's my call. It's my job. And I said, shut the fuck up, dude. You're fucking up my shit. You just stand there and cover me or leave. That's all I want you to do. Right. So maybe this, like, looking at the video cameras is a result of hiring nothing but these fucking retards. I don't know.
No,
Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I think that it's it's technology, and I think it's, as I'm using the cameras, it's a good thing. It's actually saved my ass in a couple complaints and stuff, and nothing has hindered me, at least at my department, where they're not trying to fuck me as of yet.
Right.
But I can see, like I said, my old department and other departments around, there are people out there trying to fuck people. But, the fact, like you're saying, the fact that they are hiring these fucking worthless fucks that do not deserve to be hired on, and they're just giving them a badge and a gun saying, here you go, good luck. I mean, it's good to have a credibility for those type of people. But if you see somebody being an issue, they need to direct the discipline or the oversight on those people, and not the people that are out doing the fucking job and doing
Right.
it, and doing it right.
Well, it's the same thing when they put out those fucking department-wide emails or the shift-wide emails or the station-wide emails, and everybody knows who it was that fucked it up, right? We had jokes where we would name policies after people, right?
Yeah.
In fact, the guy I was just talking about, sorry, Pablo, his name was Paul. Pablo's mad because Paul is the English version of Pablo. Damn it, he's in the chat. But I mean, he was such a fucking idiot. We messed with him hard. And at one point, he went to the lieutenant and cried so hard that a memo came out from the lieutenant saying, thou shalt not fuck with Paul or you'll get in trouble. And it was like the fucking PO stress, the Paul stress card was like policy, right? And we're like, what?
Oh,
yeah. Like literally.
I'd have been that one guy who walks up and go, you're a pussy, and just walk away.
Yeah, well, he knew it because of it. Like, long story. Okay, this is fucked up, but I'm gonna tell you right now. Long story short, he did some shit. He was going through a custody battle with his wife. Did some shit in another county in a courtroom that got him a fucking phone call from the judge and the court services bailiff to the PD saying, "This is what your fucking cop did in our courtroom," and that got him fired. Which he ended up fucking eating a bottle of pills and sending a letter to his wife saying, by the time you get this in the mail, I'll be dead. Like he was clearly dealing with some shit, but like,
oh shit, so he killed himself?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You normally see guys who kill themselves like they don't eat a bottle of pills. I mean, it's a chick thing.
Well, so that
fucked up to say. I'm sorry,
but what does that tell you? Right? I mean,
pussy.
Tells you a lot about the guy.
Right. And I know that's weird to say, but we've talked about that on the show. Like, if you've been a cop for any length of time, or even, medical examiner, coroner, emergency room, guys kill themselves certain ways, girls kill themselves certain ways. Yes, there is some sort of a crossover with certain things. But like, because I have seen a girl shoot herself in the head. Very rare. In my entire career, one time.
I usually see it in the chest.
Yeah,
and they
don't want to miss the heart
because they don't want to fuck with their face.
Yes, right. No, and I think this girl, the way she did it. So, okay, so here you go. So she was dating a dude. She was 19. She's dating a dude older than her, and he was married, but he had left his wife and was living in his little apartment. Had his kid on the weekends or whatever. He spent the whole summer, partying on the lake with this little 19-year-old spinner, making her all these promises, telling her all these things. And then finally realizes, I should probably go back to my wife and reunite my family, and tells her that. And she goes unstable on him and goes and steals her dad's .22 rifle and, puts it up to her temple on his front porch and kills herself on his front porch. My father had a copper that worked with him. His wife, they were going through divorce. She came over. And they were talking about their settlement, how we're going to divide up assets, blah, 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 blah. He says, okay, I got to go to work. He jumps in the shower. They're not living together. He's in his own apartment. She's living in her place. She's just over there to talk about how they're going to split the assets. He gets in the shower. She smokes herself on his bed. Here's a pop while he's in the shower. She smokes herself with his service weapon. Fuck. So I think when women use guns, especially when they shoot themselves in the head, there's a level of vindictive revenge to it, right? Like she shot herself in the head on this guy's porch to send him a message. This other cop, his ex-wife, shot herself with his service weapon on his bed to get back at him to send him a message, right? But other than that, it's pills. Several of them, in the garage with the door down. One lady took all of her dogs with her in the car.
Oh, dude, I had one of those.
Right?
So
Oh, shit, really?
man.
Really?
Killed all the dogs. Said you're coming with me.
Yeah, I had some old folks and fucking nobody'd seen them. Whatever. We go in the house. We get a key from the neighbor. And there's I find a letter, right? And the letter says, "Hey, we're in pain. We're this. We're this." I can't find the people anywhere. And I'm like, all right. So I'm searching the fucking house. Don't see him. Go in the garage. Fucking car's there. You got mom and pop, grandpa and grandma on the front seat, and their fucking poodle in the back with a little pile of blood coming. So I was like, oh man, that is fucked up.
Right. And yeah, same thing. She had 3 dogs, put them in the car with her, shut the garage door, rolled down the windows, turned the car on. I guess she didn't want them to suffer without her. And here's a trick for those of you that are, I don't want to leave my dog behind. I don't want him to suffer. They'll just eat you.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just eat you. And if it's a cat, they'll just eat you sooner than the dog will.
Fucking cats.
Did you guys read about this is a locker room topic, but it totally reminded me of it. And ADD is a bitch, so you're gonna have to deal with me bringing this up. The guy who's got his life saved because his cat ate his toe off.
No.
So
What?
check this shit out. I read this article. It happened in the UK. This guy fell asleep for a nap and woke up to his wife screaming because his cat had chewed his big toe off. And the screaming is what woke him up, not the pain, which caused he went to the doctors and they're like, do you have any pain? He's like, no, I don't have any fucking pain. And so they're like, wait a minute. Turns out he had a really serious medical condition. He was like minutes away from like stroking out or dying or whatever. And so they caught it because they realized that he couldn't feel his toe.
Fuck, dude.
So
The cat knew, and cat's like, I got a fucking
That's
snack.
like-
Hell yeah, dude.
What's up, Justin?
Yeah.
There's Justin in the chat. How are you, sir? Welcome to the show. Yeah, pussy saving lives, Pablo.
There you go.
But
I still fucking
wild.
hate
well, that's because you don't know how to cook them.
cats. Right?
I mean, suicides are shitty anyway. I like
Yeah.
if you can think of it, people have done it to kill themselves.
Oh,
I
dude.
feel like so selfish though. So selfish.
Yeah.
The accidental ones are the ones that really fucking tear me up.
Like kids
that
that
and
hang
I had a
themselves
buddy
in their
fucking
bathrobe by their bunk
Yeah.
beds and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had one with the autoerotic asphyxiation, and he killed
kid?
himself by accident. A kid, yeah.
How old?
15.
All right.
And we had to work on him because his dad was working on him, and we're like, he's fucking dead. And so we had to work on this poor dead kid while his family watched. And that was a rough one.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then one of my partners knew him. Was like family friends with the people. So that was rough to deal with. But that was really weird. Yeah.
No.
So anyway, we wanted to talk about some fun shit from down south and have Chuck and Jay like to compare stories because they've both worked not the same agency but similar areas. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I'm without giving too much away, an area that Jay worked for a long time is an area where Chuck still resides. If I can say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's a while ago. It's a fun area to work. I was going to tell you a story though.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about when you had to yank somebody off or whatever. So there's a story of
that's
me
not the way it sounds, by the way. I didn't have to yank something.
yank someone. No, Chuck was talking about yanking somebody back by the collar.
Yeah, for sure.
Not jerking, yanking.
Yeah.
So when I was a brand new pup, probably like 2006, I was working the jails and I was working maximum security, East Max up on the Pitches Detention Center in Santa Clarita area.
Yeah, north end of the county.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was all, I mean, there was like 1,200 inmates. It was all murders and high profile, or not high profile, but just serious assault with a deadly weapons, shit like that. We didn't have any rapists, none of that. They kept them separated. But anyways, so we had just went through what they were calling it Rolling Thunder, which was just fucking riots and riots and riots for like a month or two, where all the jails had gone off in riots. And I had just started
All at like the same time.
Yeah, they were like, it started that jail, then it went up to North County Correctional Facility, then it went down to a couple other ones, and I think it hit CJ downtown. But everybody was rioting. It was the blacks against the Hispanics, and it was just all out fanfare.
Mhm.
So, anyways, we'd separated all the South Sider, which are Hispanic, Southerner gangsters, into one module by themselves, right? Because they weren't allowed to be housed with anybody else.
Right.
So each module held about 120 dudes. So I'm in there and I'm brand fucking new, right? I'm probably 22 years old at this time, thinking my shit doesn't stink, as any new cop does. So we're doing laundry exchange. So as it would be me and another deputy, we go into the dorm and we have inmates on the outside shoveling clothes and shit inside the dorm, right? So I'm standing there, all the Southside inmates line up and they come up to the front and they gather their fucking clothes and they go back. So the rule is, you get rid of all your excess clothes, you get new clothes. And the rule is with Southsiders, if you fight one of them, you fight them all. That's their kind of thing. If you're going to get down with one, you're going to get down with all.
Right. That's the whole thing, right?
Yeah. So I'm standing there on one of the tables and some dude comes up, younger cat, probably like 24. And he's got extra boxers on him. I'm like, hey, dude, take your boxers off. Takes off one pair, keeps going up. Hey, dude, take off your shit. Doesn't listen to me. Hey, dude, take your shit off. Fuck you. Grabs his shit and walks to the back of the dorm. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, it's game on, right? So as soon as we're done with the fucking, because you're not going to disrespect me, I'm not going to disrespect you. They know better than that, even, being inmates. So we're done with laundry exchange. I see that dude. I go, get the fuck over here. He walks up to the front. I go, snatch him up. Me being young, hey, dude, I'm going to take you to the hole. Well, I said that before he was in handcuffs.
Oops.
So, new cop, dude.
Yeah.
Turns around, fucking socks me in the face. Okay. So fight's on. It's me and him going toe to toe in front of the jail. And you can see it because we had their CCTVs at the time. Because all the other inmates, when they were done, they were laying on their racks or whatever. Well, you see the whole dorm fucking swell up, right?
Oh, God.
It was fucking cool. I mean, now it's fucking cool, but back then it was
back then it was like, holy shit.
Yeah. But so I'm fighting this cat. I have a deputy with me, a female deputy I'm not going to name, who was just fucking worthless. Puts out some bullshit radio traffic. So one of my homeboys that's working hears it, sounds fucking iffy, starts running towards my dorm. And everybody else, when one officer runs, you hear the keys going, everybody else is fucking, right? Well, they pop open the gate, they see me fucking fighting this dude, and he sees the whole dorm come up and fucking start swarming. So I'm handling my shit. He fucking gets the big old pepper spray out and sprays the fucking dorm to keep them back because they're all coming up towards me, throwing trash cans, doing all that shit.
Yeah, the Mark 37.
Yeah. So I end up getting this cat in a chokehold, which was, good to go back in the day in 2006, sure. Right? It's like a standing chokehold. So my buddy sees that, goes to spray the fucking inmate. Inmate sees it, moves his fucking head, douses me right in the fucking face, right? No fault of his. He tried to do what he could do, but whatever. So I'm blind. I'm fucking fighting this dude. I grab him, throw him out of the fucking dorm. I'm in the hallway, and I'm just fucking putting the whooping on him, which, he was still fighting, so it was good to go. And all of a sudden, I feel, as I'm just trying to beat the living shit out of this dude, being 22 years old, I feel some fucking hands come on me and just throw me like 5 feet away, dude, down the fucking hallway. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I look up and it's the lieutenant, who's probably like fucking 6'4", fucking big old dude. Get the fuck out of here. I'm like, all right, cool. So long story short, they fucking clean up the dorm. They're all on their racks, whatever. Well, I get greenlit from the Southsiders. I can no longer go into a Southsider dorm or they're going to fucking kill me on sight.
Oh, right? Shit.
Yeah.
And that's no joke. Like, they're not kidding.
Yeah. So I'm greenlit. I have to work the staff station for 6 months, right? And I'm working the staff station, whatever. And then the gang detectives come down and tell me, like, hey, you remember that dude that you got into a fight with? I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, they sent him up to the pen and they murdered him. They're like, your green light's no longer on. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, he fucked up the drug trade, so they fucking murdered him. And the big homies in the dorm want me to tell you that they apologize and you're all good to go back on the yard.
Yeah, we didn't know he was a piece of shit. You're cool. You can come back.
Oh, shit.
No, they're like, we knew he fucked up, but it was until he got to prison and the top cats took care of him that It was like, all right, dude, you're good to go. And I was like,
now we don't have to stand up for him no more.
Man.
Yeah.
I know, but like being 22, you're like, fuck, dude, I'm greenlit. Am I gonna get fucking sniped at fucking Target or some shit? Like, what's happening?
Right.
You know? But
It's kind of
yeah,
scary.
yeah, but I was thinking about it because it reminded me of fucking getting my ass thrown across the hallway by some fucking 6'4" lieutenant.
Yeah.
But yeah, good times, man.
Were you there when so a mutual friend at Pitches, husband of so my wife knows the wife side of the equation, and then the husband, he was working a tier and his partner was getting choked out by a Sereno, and he came over the top rope with his flashlight and fucking caved his skull in. Do you remember that one?
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember where that was at, but I heard
Blunt
about
force
that
trauma
shit.
to the cranium. But
Yep.
hey, deadly force is deadly force, right? If you die from a flashlight or you die from a gunshot wound, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
No, just got to be able to articulate it.
Oh yeah, dude. That flashlight was my best friend, dude.
Oh yeah. We
Our
actually
stuff,
had
it was dinky.
improvised
Good.
impact munitions written into impact weapons written into policy because like they were like, yeah, I mean, if it's an impact weapon and you're clear to use a baton, you might have to.
Well, ours was considered a weapon of necessity. It was never
Right.
written into policy as an impact weapon. It was a weapon of necessity.
Yeah. I guess that's a better way to put it. It was like
Right.
any port in a storm, right? Like, yeah. Pablo.
And
with
I
a
mean,
flashlight.
you always had it in your fucking hand, anyways. Like,
Right.
you know, especially
Oh,
at
yeah.
night and stuff like that, you know. And it's fucking, 12 inches long, and some guys may or may not have put index cards in it to make sure that the batteries didn't rattle around. So when you hit something with it, it had a stronger impact. But it was a weapon of necessity.
Honestly,
I
like getting
came
out of a
on-
car at night.
My dad came on the job. They still made. He still carried a Kel light, and if you don't know what those things are, dude, you talk about a head on a lamp. Like the head was like 6 inches in diameter, and then a big long metal body and stuff. And then finally, I came on the job, and they were issuing the plastic Streamlight SL20s. And my dad had the old metal SL20, and they were like, "You can buy your own metal SL20 and carry it. You don't have to carry the plastic." So I carried the metal SL20 because that thing was a beast.
Well, what they issued me out of the academy was a plastic flashlight that looked like a fucking dildo. I swear to God. I shit you not, dude. It was about fucking that fucking round and ridged, and it looked like a dildo. And then
Was it
so
the
everybody,
Pelican one?
I don't know what brand it was, but so nobody fucking carried that. You all went out and bought a Streamlight. But so
Right.
when I quit the department and I went in to turn it in, they're like, "We don't want this fucking thing." I'm like, "Dude, I've been hanging on this motherfucker for 17 years, and you're telling me you're not going to take this dildo looking fucking thing back?" They're like, "No, dude, throw it in the fucking trash." I was like,
That's
"Geez."
hilarious. Yeah.
That's funny. I bet it was the Pelican because the Pelican one it's all black and it's got like these little squares on it.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Like
Yeah,
grip.
I'll put it on the screen here.
I can go grab mine.
No. So that came from that one copper that beat the piss out of that dude on the side of the road on the like in full view of the chopper.
Rodney King.
No. This was post Rodney King. This news chopper's flying overhead, and this dude just goes to town with his flashlight on this guy on the side of the road. But the news chopper overhead filmed the whole thing, and so of course he fucking took a bath on that, and then subsequently this became this like little 6-inch.
So the one I had was worse than that.
Okay.
I'm telling. I'll try to find a picture of it, dude. It's so bad. But yeah, it makes that look tactical.
And this is not, we're not gear hoards or anything. I mean, at least I'm not a gear hoard, but I do like good gear. I'm a buy once, cry once kind of person. And I'll tell you right now, for my money, I will always buy Streamlight. Always buy Streamlight. Like I get it, Streamlight, Surefire, all that stuff. No, Streamlight. Like all my weapon lights, Streamlight. The only Surefire I have is a weapon light that was given to me, but everything else is Streamlight.
It's more cost effective too.
I would say it would be more comparable to an Ever Ready.
Well, that is a straight fucking wiener, dude.
Let me see.
Oh yeah.
Hold it up again.
Where'd it go? So more comparable to this, but not this. Bigger and uglier.
Yeah,
Like-
those are just those emergency flashlights that are magnetized to the wall in a school and shit.
It's probably in my house somewhere under a sink for an emergency. if I
Right.
can. I don't think I threw
Right.
it away, but Jesus, dude, horrible.
Oh, here, Tim, the working cop, and now I can tell you, Tim has knowledge because he was on the he's been around a long time. The copper that beat the piss out of the guy on the side of the road on camera didn't report it, so that's how the chief was able to make hay when the sun shines. Boys, report your use of force. It's the easiest thing in the world.
Bratton had stock in Pelican.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Fuck no, dude.
That's why we all went to it, because we don't even have. They left Streamlight. They didn't want to touch it. They went to Pelican, and fucking honestly, when I got a Pelican, I was like, Pelican makes fucking lights.
Yeah,
Thought they
and
should make cases.
whatever
Briefcases.
yeah, whatever
They would
LAPD
battle.
does. I have a Pelican phone case. They make great
Yeah.
ruggedized shit, but I don't want their flat. I want to carry big,
Pelican too.
heavy steel. Fucking
Yeah, I got a Pelican case too. But honestly, I have one flashlight that just rattles like a fucking maraca.
Well, but here's the
And-
thing. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'd much rather, instead of getting out of your car every single time and making sure you ring your fucking baton, if you just get out and you have your flashlight already on you, you're walking up to a car and you're just holding your light and you're looking and they try to do something stupid, you fucking smack them. You know, hey, that's good shit. That's
Yeah.
originally how they trained it.
Yeah. I got rid of my asp and I carried a straight stick, and I love it. I have it. It's fucking a keepsake because it was that diamond wood, so it's like hardwood that's laminated together with epoxy, all that shit. But what I loved about it was like and this is the way it was explained to me. A PR-24, it's got the side handle, and people have seen Bruce Lee movies, and they expect you to do all this wazoo ninja shit with it. In reality, what you end up doing is just clubbing somebody with it, right? Because that's what works, right? All that wazoo shit goes out the window when it's asses and elbows. And so a local agency was like, yeah, we don't even authorize the PR-24, the side handle baton. And I said, really? And he goes, no. And I said, why not? And he goes, because ultimately when you grab the long end and you start beating somebody with the just, like a bat, it looks like you're using it improperly. I said, but that's one of the techniques. He goes, I know that you can use it that way, but it looks bad. But if you take a straight stick and you just smack the shit out of somebody with a straight stick, people are like, well, that's how you use it. And so they literally got rid of side handle batons and stayed with straight sticks just for the perception of the public saying, well, that's what you do with that. So that's okay. Because that's what they were going to do with it anyway. And I get it. Right. But the asp suck. You hit somebody with the asp and just boing, that shit just.
I had one of those big fucking beefy monognock looking ass. Like,
oh yeah.
dude,
like the Winchesters.
Yeah, you brought it out and it looked like a fucking baseball bat. I used to carry that thing, dude. It's probably fucking like 8-9 pounds.
Yeah.
Never fucking used it. Only used my flashlight all the fucking time. So I was like, this is fucking stupid.
It's hilarious.
The straight stick, the nice straight stick in the ring was a good deterrent, because I'd talk to people and their eyes would go from the stick to my face, from the stick to my face, from the stick to my face. And one person actually finally said the quiet part out loud when he looked at me and he goes, you wouldn't actually use that on anybody, would you? And I was like, I mean, yeah, I have. Right? Like, fuck around and find out. What do you think it's there for? Looks. So it was a good
Good deterrent.
Yeah, it was a good deterrent, good peacekeeper.
The one time I went to go use my asp, I threw it out of my hand.
Was it the little one?
Yeah, it was all
Yeah.
slippery and shit too. I was just in a foot pursuit, and I go to fucking pull it out, and I crossbody, and I go whack, and it goes zip. And I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude, this looks awesome." And the guy was like, "Ha ha ha, ha fucker," and I was like, "Shut the fuck up!" And my partner came around the corner with a fucking gun at the right second, at the right moment, because he was squaring up to fight. So,
right.
My partner put a gun right around the corner, and he's like, "I'm gonna fucking shoot you in the face." And guy's like, "Okay."
Yeah, right.
Like, thank Christ, dude.
One of my
I mean, we're gonna
drills-
I'll be fine with getting down, but I didn't have a baton and it was on the floor. So
No.
One of my favorite deterrents is the dog. We've talked about that on the show, but the dog makes people behave like nothing else.
have you ever done the key trick? Fake a dog?
Oh. Yeah, when you fake a dog.
Yeah. Seriously, because
Yeah.
in our cop cars we have the fucking call out for canine.
Mhm.
So we just play it and put it on the PA, which we normally do, right? For a canine call out or a SWAT call out.
Wait a minute.
Canine.
Time out. You have a pre-recorded canine call out in the car?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yes.
Holy shit.
And so
Alright.
anyone on the perimeter can do it. That way we can hit it from multiple angles because we don't know where they're at inside of a perimeter. You can just fucking play it and it'll go.
That's
And then
great. Like, we just had to make the announcement. We had to like say that shit. I mean, yes, we would make the announcement
It's
when we were
pre-recorded
a
one.
fucking dog.
We had a pre-recorded one.
Did you ever work with a dog down south, Jay?
No, dude, getting a dog out there was like a act of God.
Yeah.
Up here, though, they have them everywhere, and it's the same thing. But instead of us having a pre-recorded, dispatch will, and they'll play it in your car, and you just put it over the loudspeaker.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
So dispatch will play the call out and you just
throw it over the loudspeaker.
what
Yeah,
the
it's a trip,
hell?
dude. It's a trip. But yeah, now they use dogs up here for everything, which is
Oh, yeah.
it's really nice. But down there, I think I've had, when I worked on that long, I had like one dog the whole time, and all my calls that actually showed up, and it's because they're fucking busy, and they also like they'll call you, because I had one for a G ride with some dudes that bailed out, and I caught him before the dog got there, but I was on the phone with the dude, and he asked me like fucking 80 different questions, like, hey, is this going on, this going on, and if one of them was wrong, we're not rolling. I'm like, fuck, you know, and I get it, liability shit, but
Dude, it's like a SWAT call out.
yeah, dude, it really was.
There should be patrol canines. To be quite honest, on these big agencies, there really needs to be a patrol canine, because having to call out fucking canine, unless they're listening, because sometimes they would listen and be like, hey, do you need us to roll? Because they're fucking bored and they haven't been called out. Because every time we call out, like you just said, they ask us a bunch of questions, and then half the times they don't end up rolling, and you're like, okay, check on the bucks.
Yeah.
I would tell you right now, if I was the chief of any agency, and I would do what our chief did, which he said, we will have a dog on duty every day of the week during the busy hours, right? And so all the canine handlers knew they never got to work together ever, unless they went to training, because they were always put on separate squads, because there was always a dog to cover. And the only time you'd lose the dog would be like 2 a.m. to like 10 a.m. Right? Like they wouldn't have dogs on day shift during the first part of the day, because all you're taking is fucking theft reports and embezzlements and shit like that. But by the time, noon o'clock rolled around, dogs were on, and they were on till midnight or 2 a.m. And there was, like, very rarely did you have to call out a dog after hours. But they were there, and they had to, our handlers had to be able to respond within 20 minutes. And there was no criteria. It was, hey, I need a dog. And the watch commander would go, why? And you'd say, because of this. And they go, okay. And they'd call and wake up the freaking dog handler.
Yeah.
Get your ass here. Take your car home. You take your dog home, so that we can wake you up and get your ass here. Period. So I loved working with dogs, man. And our dogs were all cross trained. So they were shepherds. So they were patrol dogs, but then they also were cross trained to do dope. So, you'd stop a car and freaking dog would roll over and just happen to run around the car and sit down and be like, oh, you need to get the fuck out of the car.
They offered me a dog up here when I got hired on. They're like, I told them I was interested, and then I ended up having fucking little kids, and they're like, yeah, it's gonna be a bite and a sniff. And I was like, and it fucking snows up here, and I kind of like dogs too much to be sticking them out back in a fucking kennel when it's snowing and not get, so they're gonna.
And I knew a dog handler that violated those rules, and the dog ended up biting a family member under the age of 5. And
fuck that.
Yeah, no.
I don't like dogs that much.
Yeah,
but
I actually almost took I've taken bites from dogs, but they were all like the controlled, like bite sleeve shit. I did all that, right? I didn't mind taking the bites. It was the hold and barks that fucking scared the shit out of me. And if you don't know what it is, when they send the dog in to find you, they'll give the dog the command to just find you. And then when the dog finds you, it will sit in front of you and snap its teeth and bark at you. And if you move, it will fuck you up, right? The dog knows once you find the bad guy, You sit there and you bark till I come get you. If the bad guy moves, you can bite him. And so I would we'd be on training, it'd be like midnight or something, and they'd say, "Hey, you mind doing a little training with us?" And I'm like, "Fuck." So we'd go to a school or we'd go to a building we had keys to, and I'd go hide somewhere in the building in full uniform, right? I'd go hide somewhere in the building, and they'd be like, "Dude, put your hands behind your back and don't move." And all right, so then they'd make the announcement. Fucking dog would come in, and I'd hear that dog coming, and you could hear the breath getting closer, and the fucking, badge on its fucking collar and shit. And when the dog found you, they'd get up on their back legs, and they'd snap, and they'd fucking snarl, and they'd slobber, and they'd be like, "All right, stand still." I'm like, "I'm fucking standing still." Like, this thing scares me. So the Holden barks were what scared me. But I almost had one take a bite out of my ass. I came running around the corner in a foot pursuit. The canine handler had come around a separate corner, and so I was ahead of him as I came around the corner chasing the suspect on foot. And we cut around the backside of a school into the back field, and as I come around the corner and I'm about to try and catch the guy, the canine handler lets the dog off the leash, and I hear the bite command, and I was like, "Oh." And I was ready for it. I'm gonna get bit in the ass. I'm gonna get bit in the ass right now. And luckily, like, as that dog was bearing down on him, the handler gave the recall command, and the dog just fucking turned and left. And I was like, "Oh, thank Jesus." I was going to get bit in the ass.
Yeah. I'm good on that, man.
Yeah. But you know what, though? I think that's why gangsters, like, they're afraid of the dogs, because, like, with a gun, they know the rules, right? They know when you can and can't shoot them.
Yeah.
But with a dog, they're not quite sure of the rules, and they're aware that it's a wild animal. I don't know. I think that's probably why it has a different psychological impact.
And I think they're not really going to be able to learn the rules because every department has different rules. You know?
Right.
Like I said, down in LA, it was a 80 question checkoff. Up here, it's like, "Hey, I need a dog. All right, we're rolling." I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So, different rules for different agencies. So that's good.
Yeah. I didn't know there were parts of the country where the dogs are equipment, which really pisses me off. Like, they assaulting the police dog. We talked about, Chuck and I just talked about this on a debrief, that there are places where the dog is not looked at as a peace officer, and attacking the dog is attacking a cop. It's looked at as attacking the police car.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
but even when you have a suspect beating the shit out of your cop car, right, and he's trying to kick out the fucking windows, you still rip that motherfucker out, because you're like, "I'm not trying to, BO my shop so that I can't fucking use it the rest of the night or tomorrow. No, I'm fucking pulling your ass out because you don't disrespect my."
Well, yeah.
And if they fight and the use of force ensues and yada yada whatever, it's the same thing. Even if your dog's considered property, if someone's beating your fucking property, you should be able to stop them from doing so by reasonable force, including a tennis racket to the fucking face, because you don't touch my property like that.
Yeah, the tennis racket to the face, Jay.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious.
It was hilarious. This dude was wandering around with a tennis racket, and the canine handler sicks the dog on him. The dog gets in by the leg. The handler comes around by the head, picks up the tennis racket off the ground, and when the guy starts to hit the dog, the handler starts hitting the suspect with the tennis racket in the fucking head.
Weapon of necessity, man.
Right?
There you go, dude. But here's the thing. All canine handlers, every canine handler I've ever fucking known has always been that way. Like, you fucking touch my dog, I touch you.
Yeah.
It is what it is, because they develop a bond. Yeah. I mean,
and even if they're looking at that as a piece of equipment, how much does it cost for that dog to train that dog, to house that dog? That's a fucking expensive. That's like fucking with a Ferrari, man.
Yeah,
dude.
And let's,
it's crazy.
I just, like, how do we get away with that in such a world of, like, animal rights and shit, where people are, like, up in arms about animal rights, and then you get departments that are like, fuck it, it's property.
Like, I get it. Like, animal rights don't give a fuck about cops.
That's probably true too.
For the most part, not not a total
police dogs are bastards.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Right.
Did you I don't know if you guys talk about news or anything. Did you guys see the fucking Valenzuelan gang shit going on?
Oh, taking over that entire apartment complex?
Did you see the fucking Hells Angels are riding out there?
No.
Ooh,
Oh, I'm here for
fuck.
it. Where's the popcorn?
Yeah, dude. I just saw it yesterday.
They
the
live
Hells
stream
Angels-
this?
What's that?
Can they live stream this shit? Like put up a
Yeah,
poll
'cause
cam
I'll
and just
watch
watch
it.
it?
Pay-per-view
There's
that shit.
videos of them on their fucking way out there to go fucking put boot to ass, I guess. So I just saw it. I haven't really got to like dive into it. Nothing's really come of it as of yet. But it's funny because I followed this pastor, and I follow him because he got a bunch of shit for the COVID lockdowns. He didn't do it. He was against it, you know. So I was like, all right, that's a solid fucking dude. I'll follow him. Well, he posts this fucking post something about, which pissed me off, but whatever. Something about the cops aren't doing their job, so the Hells Angels are coming to play. And he's like, Godspeed. And I was like, first off, fuck you. Second off, that's badass.
Right.
Yeah, like put me in,
I'm not a
coach.
fan of the Hells Angels, but I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I wish people would stop saying the cops aren't doing their job. Listen, motherfucker, it's
You would
not the
love-
cops.
Can't.
We would
It's
love
the
to.
people upstairs, the fucking
Yeah.
ivory towers sitting motherfuckers looking down saying, let's tie their fucking hands some more because we want to be transparent because we don't want another riot in our city. How about this? You're the fucking police department and you don't know negotiate with terrorists. Fucking boot to ass, stern but fair. That's what law enforcement should be. So it's not us that are like the guys on the ground that are not wanting to do a job. It's we're not being allowed to do that. I wish people would stop saying the cops are doing their job.
Yeah.
No, we're doing our job.
That's what pissed me
We're just
off.
not
I'm
allowed
like,
to do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to do my job. I would love to go back and do the
Exactly.
job. I would
Oh,
love
yeah.
to do the job the way the job was supposed to be done. When I have actually talked to people, modern people, and I said, okay, would you rather have laws where domestic violence is handled in a way where when we show up, if a woman can lie or a man can lie and they can say, or, you know, oh, this red mark, you know, and now it's mandatory arrest and blah, 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 all this stuff. And I explained to him the domestic violence laws. Or would you, you know, because there was and I said, and the reason was because there was a time when a woman or a man had to press charges against their spouse in order for cops to arrest them. And they're like, oh, yeah, that sucks. I said, but in the era before, like when cops were like, oh, shit, I can't arrest this dude because the wife doesn't want him to go to jail. She'd say, I just want him to stop hitting me. And so then the cops would take him outside and beat the piss out of him and say, you touch your wife again, we're going to come back and give you more of the same. And I've talked to more people now in our generation that are like, fuck yeah, we should go back to doing that. Like,
Yeah.
let's handle it the old school way. And I completely agree.
Problem is, it's our generation.
No, that's true.
It's not the younger generation, and it's not the older generation that have raised these fucked up younger generations.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's because it's going back to consequences have actions, and we've lost that. We've lost that.
Right.
I just had to yell at my fucking kids and a group of fucking people because they weren't listening, and I fucking was done. I had it up to here. No, we're done, and I'm yelling at all three little ones. So
Yeah.
2 years old, 4 years old, 8 years old.
You got to fucking.
They
start
weren't
it
fucking
now.
listening.
Yeah.
And so I got on him, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" You know, like my kids are gonna understand consequences have fucking actions, and there's too much. There's not enough of that anymore, and you know, that's why we're having all these issues. And bring back
find out
consequences for actions.
And you know, it's interesting, and not to be off topic, but as a newer dad, that's one thing I never fucking realized was how like other people raise their fucking kids.
Yeah.
Is the fucking most annoying thing I've ever seen.
Oh,
in my
yeah.
life. Like I don't want my fucking children hanging out with these fucking loser dicks,
Fuck
like
yeah.
uncultured, fucking running around like fucking banshees without being disciplined.
Kids with no
Fucking-
manners, kids who talk shit, kids.
You're out of your fucking mind.
No way.
And
Yeah,
it's
no.
it's crazy. I never thought about that before. Like, you know, having kids, I don't have kids, blah, blah, blah. I never thought that was going to be a fucking issue for me. And I'm like, what the
Mhm.
fuck, dude? Like, why, you know?
So our mutual friend, the doctor, there was a thing where one of her kids did something and it got brought to her attention. And I just saw her fucking eyes get big as like saucer, like fucking dinner plates. And she was like, my kid? And then she disappeared and she snatched that little boy up and she dragged him off to where nobody could hear. Like we could see she was over handling her business. It was at a restaurant. She took him away, you know, and she parented him properly. The kid wasn't crying. He wasn't beaten, but he was firmly dealt with. And I'm walking back and I'm looking at my wife and all of our friends sitting at the table. I'm all, am I the only one that gets like this really sick enjoyment out of watching parents be good fucking parents? Like,
Dude.
I watch parents be good parents. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, it's like fucking thank God at least my child will have a fucking friend.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking degenerate, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And Pablo,
Mhm.
Mongols and Hell's Angels, to your comment, he asked if the Mongols and Hell's Angels are joining, or the Mongols are joining the Hell's Angels. To my
Don't
knowledge,
think
that will
so.
never happen because the
They
Mongols
have
and the Hell's Angels are the sworn enemies of each other. Like to put it into context, that's the Mayans and the Sons of Anarchy joining forces, right? Like there's just they're mortal enemies. So yeah, that's not gonna happen.
speaking of mortal, I had to do CPR on a Mongol fucking 3 nights ago.
Oh
Oh shit, huh?
up here?
Yeah, he fucking I think he was drunk. I don't know. I couldn't tell. I couldn't smell because he was fucking dead.
Yeah.
But he fucking ran his bike off the road and fucking died. And I had to cut his fucking colors off. I'm like, oh, I hope nobody's seeing this.
Oh well.
His
Oh
color
yeah.
off is fucking spread. He's got a big old fucking Swazi on his chest.
Of course.
But yeah, he was fucking DFO. But yeah, I didn't realize how many fucking biker gangs are up here. There's a shit ton.
Yeah,
There's like
I saw one the other day and I took a picture of the cut and I sent it to a buddy of mine who works the local PD and I was like, hey, who the fuck is this? He's like, I don't know. That's a new one on me. So, it could have been a nonsense, ridiculous club that's trying. But if you wear a 3-patch and the fucking Hells Angels or Mongols catch you doing it, you're going to get your shit pushed in.
Yeah. There's
I heard that up where you guys live, up in the northwest or whatever, it's one of the most dangerous areas for
grizzly
Sovereign
bears.
citizens.
Yeah.
no, like white supremacy and shit like that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
So
But not as much as you think anymore.
Not
Like,
anymore.
there used to be in my city, like right outside of my city, there used to be a 20-acre white supremacist
like the militias and
compound.
shit.
Yeah.
No, it was a legit white supremacist like compound, religious group compound where they would like train and like, yeah. And that's kind of, long story short, that's tied into Ruby Ridge. But they
Right.
every 4th of July, the Nazis would have a parade down Main Street, like Nazi parade.
Yeah.
And
And this
they-
was so what, 10, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Because that
They got-
guy, the main guy died.
Yeah.
And supposedly
Property got seized and sold, and
supposedly he was banging a transvestite on his way out or some shit. I don't know.
that's
What?
That's the
That's
rumor,
amazing.
dude. Yeah.
Dude.
But no, that shit's disbanded, man. I mean, unless you go way up north, like almost Canada north, you're not really gonna see that.
Yeah.
No. I was just saying that because the left keeps pushing that narrative, and I just think that's funny.
I mean, to be fair, I'm
talk about
almost
biker
Canada
gangs.
North, and you have to go even further north than us, right?
So did you see one of those proud? I don't know if they were Proud Boys. They might have been the Proud Boys.
The
got
fake
arrested up
ones?
here. Yeah, the fake ones. Did you see them when they
Yeah.
got arrested up here?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I was working the jail here for a minute because I was like, it's cold. I don't want to work outside, but they're paying me pennies, so I said, fuck this. I'll deal with the cold. But so I was working when they brought those fuckers in, dude, and what a fucking joke. What a joke. There was like one mouthpiece for the whole thing who was trying to, whatever, but all the rest of them were just paid actors. You could tell.
Wannabes.
Really?
Yeah, the way that they're acting, the way they're talking, they'd never been fucking arrested. They were all like blue collar, like nerdy cats, like not solid fucking dudes you would think of. It was
Right.
nothing, but it blew up over the country,
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, we had that one with the moving truck, and they were all.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they came to your jail.
Well, when I was working over here.
Oh, the
on
other jail.
Idaho
The
side,
other
when I
jail.
first-
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first moved up here, I was working. on
Yes,
the
I
Idaho
forgot
side.
you were in the Idaho jails for a while. Yeah. And yeah, they were all They were total losers. Wow.
Fucking- Yeah.
Well,
It was
Jay, I know we normally give our guests a chance to dedicate the episode, but I figured you wouldn't mind if we called an audible because of what happened in Texas.
No, absolutely.
And so, Chuck, I sent it to you. Do you have it, or do you want me to read it?
Okay, you just do it.
Okay.
My computer's all messed up right now.
That's no problem. So, we wanted to dedicate this episode to Officer Darren Burks and everybody at the Dallas Police Department. Essentially, Officer Burks was shot and killed while he was sitting in his patrol car.
Fuck.
Rookie Dallas police officer killed in a shooting outside a community center in Oak Cliff Thursday was executed in a premeditated attack by a, quote, coward, the city's chief said. 2 other officers were sent to check on the injured officer, were also targeted and were wounded in the gun battle. 1 officer was shot in the face. Another one was shot in the leg and is recovering at home. Police say the gunman was then led them on a highway chase that ended in Louisville, where the suspect was shot and killed by responding officers. So good job on them. But Officer Darren Burks was killed in the line of duty in the chicken shit execution. I mean, to just walk up to somebody because they're sitting in their police car and shooting them in the head, dude, you're a fucking coward, right? Take it like fight us, right? You want to fight us like a man. Don't be a coward. So I just wanted to call the audible and dedicate it to Officer Burks. Rest easy, brother. We've got it from here. And for all the coppers out in Dallas, stay strong, man. I mean, it's always tough losing a partner, but it's even tougher when you lose a partner in the most cowardly fucking way. If I found so many cops have said if I would be dealing with it easier if he'd gone out fighting, but to go out like this, it's fucking senseless and stupid, and just awful. So, yeah. Well, Jay, I appreciate you coming on. We had an open spot, and Jay slid in it because our next week's guest was going to be this week's guest, and we had to punt due to a scheduling conflict. So that will be out Monday, or next Monday. This will be out. This is our latest episode. So appreciate you, man.
Right on, guys. I appreciate the invite.
We'll have to get you. We have to get you on a successful locker room, because last time you were on locker room, it got fucked.
Yeah, you fucking keep your fucking dogs and
right. No, I'm gonna beat my children harder to make sure they don't leave the fucking front door open.
There you go. And I'm gonna try to get my old lady to come on your podcast one of these days.
Yeah. His old lady was a copper too, so that'll be awesome.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah. For 7 years, same department.
Wait.
Yeah.
So
7 years or 17?
7. She went out because of her back, so she's dealing with all that shit, and they're trying to give her surgery or whatever. We'll see. But good times.
Back surgery blows, dude. It just blows.
Well, and having 2 kids after a fucking back injury didn't help. So it's
well, yeah. There's that.
What's that?
You went robo.
Oh, I said the service, the reception is really bad on your guys' end.
Oh, maybe it's all of us,
or on someone's end, because I see the Wi-Fi is all. Yeah. Oh fuck, maybe it's me. I don't know. Who knows?
All right. Well,
I said, how long was she on for?
7 years.
Okay. Yeah. Back issues are fucking no bueno, dude. I have one right now.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you all today for listening. If you like today's podcast and the content we provide, follow us on Instagram at war_stories_official, and our Facebook at War Stories Podcast. You can also go to our website at www.warstoriesofficial.com and grab some gear. If I owe you something, don't worry, it's coming out. Got a little bit sick. I don't want to package it while I'm sick and get you fucking COVID. So I'll throw in a nice shirt for you. If you're listening, message me and give me your size. If not, I'll message you. Maybe. Okay. And if you want to be featured on the show, go to booking.warstories@gmail.com. Again, that is booking.warstories@gmail.com. I can get you booked. That is booking.warstories.com. We're always looking for veterans, law enforcement, corrections, dispatchers, fire, medics, and nurses. If you have a friend who you think would be a great fit, let them know about us. Give them that booking email. Link us up. Maybe show them something about us.
Yep.
Link us up so we're not doing a cold call and they have no idea who we are. And give, again, that's booking.warstories@gmail.com. And then I can get you guys booked. Thank you for support. Stay safe.
Until the next episode, come home with your shield or on it.
Yeah.